When you post a vulnerable thought online, or share a piece of art you spent weeks creating, and a cascade of likes rolls in, your brain naturally craves that validation. But recently, a persistent creep of doubt accompanies that feeling. It's called epistemic paranoia, the ambient anxiety that the interaction validating your existence is an elaborate algorithmic illusion. For years, the idea of a dead internet was a fringe theory. Today, network security logs show it is a verifiable technical reality. The open public web has been hollowed out, transformed into a synthetic ecosystem where the overwhelming majority of content and commentary is produced by interlocking networks of autonomous software agents. We have passed the Great Inversion. This is the precise statistical inflection point where non-human automated traffic permanently eclipsed organic human activity. Automated agents now account for over 57% of all web traffic. Within that footprint, malicious bad bots comprise nearly 40% of public volume. These arrays operate at industrial scale to scrape data and simulate human behavior. This saturation has created a new category of digital waste, known as slop. Much like the spam of the early web era, slop is the relentless, suffocating deluge of algorithmically generated text and imagery. It is designed to capture search engine visibility and populate empty profiles. We are navigating an algorithmic mirror world. This simulated landscape is engineered by machine learning frameworks to capture human focus, manipulate cognitive biases, and extract financial capital through synthetic engagement. Generating this much volume requires heavy infrastructure, but the modern click farm has moved beyond the physical warehouses of the past. Today, these operations are fully virtualized, cloud-bound enterprise software stacks. A single operator leases massive cloud server infrastructure to launch hundreds of thousands of headless browsers, web browsers operating cleanly without a graphical user interface. These automated units use orchestration frameworks to mimic humans. They introduce randomized typing delays, execute mouse movement jitters, and even vary their online hours to match local time zones. Attackers route traffic through residential proxy networks, passing bot data through legitimate home connections to hide from firewalls. Next, bots scrape biographical data to build profiles and complex network graphs, creating a self-sustaining synthetic presence. Because the machine can look, act, and communicate exactly like an authentic user at the network interface layer, the technical markers we use to define human identity have been erased. The expansion of this ghost web is fueled by an ironclad financial incentive. The contemporary digital economy operates on a hyper-optimized metric, raw engagement. Platforms and advertisers distribute wealth based on clicks, views, and comments, regardless of whether a human is behind them. This creates made-for-advertising, or MFA, sites. These are structurally minimal domains populated by free AI content generators that churn out thousands of shallow, keyword-stuffed articles every hour. Operators buy cheap clicks, funneling traffic to MFA pages with hyperdense ad grids that auto-refresh, multiplying session revenue 20 times. More aggressive setups use attribution hijacking, firing invisible clicks right before a real user's purchase to steal the final payout. This multi-billion-dollar loop operates without a single real human being ever viewing an advertisement or making a purchase decision. The human consumer has been engineered out of the cycle. The bots are now the ones spending the corporate budgets. This saturation of automated content introduces a structural threat to human knowledge itself. As generative AI systems flood the web with synthetic media, they are triggering a technical breakdown called model collapse. Foundational AI models require massive human-constructed datasets to learn the nuances of language. But because the web is now a landscape of synthetic text, newer AI models are being trained on the output of their own technological ancestors. This recursive training loop causes AI to oversample common statistical patterns while ignoring the rare nuances that define human expression. As this chart shows, the statistical errors accumulate exponentially across generations, causing logical reasoning to disintegrate and vocabulary to shrink. This architectural decay is mirrored in our geopolitics. State-level intelligence operations now deploy autonomous cognitive warfare platforms that monitor news cycles and societal fault lines in real time. They use information flooding, saturating the digital ecosystem with contradictory narratives and manufactured outrages. The goal isn't necessarily to spread one lie,
but to induce a state of cognitive exhaustion, where the citizen loses the capacity to differentiate fact from fiction. Democratic institutions are being rendered non-functional by an absolute deluge of automated static. The town square isn't being silenced, it's being drowned. Standard defenses like visual captchas are now obsolete. Generative AI and multimodal vision models can solve these puzzles faster and more accurately than a human user. This has forced security architects to move authentication into the physical world. New biometric identity networks utilize specialized hardware to scan a user's unique ocular signature, generating a digital identity token anchored directly to their physical body. This creates an agonizing trap. To protect the digital square from automated ghosts, citizens are asked to a permanent system of biometric surveillance. We are caught between an open web overrun by synthetic slop and the surrender of our most private biological data to a central registry. The pressure of this environment is driving a quiet migration. Users are abandoning public forums in favor of dark social spaces, private, invite-only group chats, verified Discord servers, and authenticated localized networks. In these closed spaces, human presence is validated through real-world, trusted relationships, rather than an algorithmic profile. This shift reflects a fundamental need to escape the isolation of the algorithmic mirror world. Survival in a synthetic ecosystem requires us to reconnect with the physical fabric of human community. As the digital world becomes increasingly unnavigable, our focus must shift toward protecting the authenticity of human connection where it still exists, outside the machine.